Welcome back to Daytime here on Rogers TV. If you're an author and you're looking for a unique way to promote your book, what are some of the ideas that come to mind? Well, our next guest and her son came up with a fantastic idea. I am joined by Kathy Berklund-Pagé. She is an author, and her latest book is Caves of Fire. Kathy, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Thank you. It's fun to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about your background as a writer. When did you begin writing, and what inspired you?
Oh my goodness. I'd never thought of writing in my whole life until I got to university. And one of my professors said, I think you could be a good writer if you're willing to work at it. And she said, come and see me. And I never did.
Really?
But her comment stayed with me. Yeah, I never did. Now I kind of go, what were you thinking? But at the time, but her comment stayed with me. And at one point I was thinking about, what do I want to have done by the time I'm 80? And I thought, that is one question I want to answer. I want to know, could I be a good writer? Was she right? Could I be good? How good could I be? And it was then that I started writing.
Well, you're obviously a good writer because you've been getting fantastic reviews. You've won an award. Let's talk about Caves of Fire. Tell us a little bit about the themes in the book.
The themes in the book are perseverance, our choices matter, we need each other, and well, it's a fantasy for 10 and up. And so the boy is a nerd, the girl is bossy, and then there's one who's a slave and a spy. And he has been given the task of luring the boy into a trap, but he discovers he doesn't want to. And so the question is, can a slave say no? And can they become true friends when they defeat the bad master?
When you decided to write the book, did you start with the characters? Did you start with the plot? Like, what was the process for you?
Well, I've always loved mythology. One of my strong memories is being 10 and sitting up in a tree and having this little black book of Greek mythology, and I was reading it and have always loved it since then. And so I discovered Persian, which I had never read before. And it was that mythology that came out of this story.
I mentioned off the top you found a unique way to promote your book. You're a little bored. It's, we're living in a pandemic. You want to get outside and do something. How can I promote my book? Tell everybody at home what you came up with.
Well, it didn't start off as a way to do marketing. It started off because it had been a heavy year. I mean, there's COVID, and then there'd been deaths in the family, and there'd been a lot of other things. And I looked around and I thought, I could use some fun.
Right.
And how could I create fun around me and create fun for myself? And after 35 years in the province of Quebec, we had moved to Ottawa, and there are a ton of little free libraries in Ottawa. There aren't very many in Quebec. And so I love them. It felt like Christmas. And I thought, I could put copies of my book in the little free libraries that are around me.
There it is. Yeah, there it is. What a brilliant idea. And you included a note in each book that you put in these little free libraries. What did the note say?
Oh, well, I signed each book, and then I put the note in it, and it said, hi, I love little free libraries, but my last home, Quebec, had few. So to celebrate little free libraries and my new home in Ottawa, I'm placing copies of my book in every little free library that I find. May you have as much joy reading it as I did giving it. And if you want to spread the word, the Ottawa Library System has copies, and positive reviews on social media are, of course, always welcome.
That's amazing. So what kind of feedback did you get from that?
Oh, there have been several feedback. My absolute favorite is from a mom who sent me a picture of her 12-year-old boy. He's sprawled out on the couch, totally engrossed in the book. She said he read for 2 hours straight and finished the book, and she asked him, well, what'd you think of it? He said, well, it's not my number one favorite of all time, but it's in my top 10.
Oh,
and I thought, that's a win.
That's an absolute win. So with this wonderful feedback, I mentioned, you've received an award. You've got 5 stars as well for the book. I mean, you've created some excitement. Are you perhaps working on a sequel?
I am working on a sequel. One of the fun things in the sequel is there is a spotted skunk you may never have heard of. Instead of having one stripe down the back, it's got stripes all over. And the other thing that makes them interesting is when they're angry, they stand on their front paws and do a little dance on their front paws, and they can spray you from that direction.
Really? You mentioned you moved to Ottawa from Quebec, so I'd like to get your insight. What do you think of your new home?
I love my new home. I love that when I walk down the street, my neighbors will actually greet me even though they don't know me, which is not something that happened much in Montreal. And I love that there's less traffic.
Yeah, I can imagine. Before I run out of time, Kathy, where can people pick up a copy of your book?
Well, they can read it for free from getting it from the library. They can order it through any bookstore, and they can get it directly from me if they want to have a signed copy.
Wonderful. Kathy, congratulations on the book, and good luck with the sequel. I'm sure I'll see you down the road talking about that one.
Thank you.
All right, take care. And I did mention to Kathy, by the way, off camera, that we have one of these free little libraries, and her son has created a map, so I might have to add ours to her map so we can get a copy of that book as well. Don't go anywhere. Lots more coming up. We'll tell you about a wonderful organization you know so well here in Ottawa right after the break.